Hey, Bryant Cook. Today we are playing the Pauper Challenge with my favorite Pauper deck, Cycle Storm. I hope everyone is having a great holiday season, and I've got a treat for you. There's a new trick in Cycle Storm. You heard it, a trick that's been available this whole time that I've played the deck that I've never even considered, that a YouTube commenter left, and my mind blew. I just couldn't believe that I haven't seen this play before. It's so obvious once you think of it, but it's so obvious that I think I've just overlooked it for the last year. And that play is when you're casting Songs of the Damned specifically for Storm, when you don't actually need the mana off it, hold priority, cast Reaping the Graves. And when you do that, you can return a bunch of creatures, cycle them, and then before your Songs ever resolves, you've cycled additional creatures. You usually need a decent amount of mana floating for this play, but that way, when that Songs ends up resolving, you'll get an extra 3 to 6-ish mana out of it. So it's like a free Dark Ritual, or on the higher upside, Cabal Ritual. That play is something I haven't been doing because, well, I completely forgot about it for, well, actually, that's not even true. I just didn't think of it. So today we're looking to leverage that play, see how it goes. That's it. The deck list for today's challenge is what I've been running. I've been on a little bit of a heater with this deck list. I have a 77 match win percentage over premier events with it in the last calendar month. So running hot. Looking to continue doing that today in this Pauper Challenge. It's about to start, so I'm going to run, but I will see you in match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Welcome to round number 1. We're on the draw. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but they've taken a mulligan. We're going to keep this. This hand's pretty reasonable. One thing that we can look to do here is use this Lotus Petal to cycle the Ash Barrens to go get the Swamp, and then cycle the Architect. That way we have a black mana to cycle and everything will go well. And it looks like we're facing Mono Blue Delver. Okay, well I don't need to sacrifice the Lotus Petal anymore, I like that. That said, I don't know how we can beat Delver. And Mono Blue. It's just, I would have preferred an easier matchup to start the day. Alright, and now we're going to take a hit. Upkeep, let's go get a Swamp. You could go get the island here, but it appears that black mana is going to be what we need this game. Okay. So we're off to a decent start here. One thing that we can try to do is get our opponent to counter a Cabal Ritual, and then go Dark Ritual, Songs of the Damned, try to win that way. And 2 Delvers in a row not flipping. Those Delvers are not trained. And here we have a Ponder. This should make it so that way the Delver flips. One thing to note is that on turn 2, they didn't cast a spell. Here on turn 3, they're still representing having Spellstutter Sprite or Counter Spell. And they did not shuffle. Okay, so Delver is going to get in there. We'll fall to 18. If they played the Ninja, I would have considered that a window to try to win the game, depending on what our cycles were here. I might have taken that as an opportunity. Draw. Cycle Horror. Looking for another land here. Let's play out the Petal. So this way, if they cast Spellstutter, we could try to win. Because a lot of these blue players get kind of greedy, in my opinion, and they just like try to counter Lotus Petal pretty early. I'm going to play this out so that way we can just cycle. Okay, so now we have 4 creatures in the graveyard. We're doing okay. And Delver is probably going to flip now because they stacked their deck with Ponder. And it revealed another Ponder. Okay. So Ponder is on the stack. They did not shuffle. So next turn they will have double Counterspell up. So this might be a turn that we want to try to win. Okay. So we're going to go to 15. They have 3 cards in hand. Let's cycle the Horror. Cycle Street Wraith. 13 life. I'm going to try the Cabal Ritual here. If they have a counterspell, this is a pretty juicy target. And they have the Spellstutter, which is fine because now we have a window to win the game. We still have a land drop as well. So let's add a black mana here, cast Dark Ritual. And now we'll cycle the Drannith Stinger. Okay. Cycle Horror, going down to 1 black. So now our songs will make 8 mana. And I have to cast songs here. I don't have a choice. Okay, so let's cycle the Stinger. Terms 4. I think I'm just going to cast Reaping here for 5. Return the Stinger. Okay, and then we want to start with Street Wraith so that way we can cycle it for free, digging for another Songs of the Damned, because that's what we really need at this point if we want to try to win this game. So cycle Street Wraith. Okay. Can I get a Songs? Cycle. So we could stop here and gain a bunch of life with the Ploy, but I don't feel like that's actually a winning strategy, so I'm just going to take the extra draw here, trying to hit the Songs. Okay, so we go down to 9 life. That's rough. Alright, cycle. Teachings doesn't do it. We're going to return Healer Stinger. In theory, I could still cycle into it off this Ash Barrens. Okay, cycle the Healer. And we fizzled. Okay. I mean, we had a window there, we just didn't hit. 32 cards left in deck. Unfortunately, our opponent has 5 power in play and 3 cards in hand. Even if it's a Snap Spellstutter beats us here, so we're probably just dead. Okay, so we're falling to 4 life. And they have Ninja. That does it too. Yeah, we're just dead to the Spellstutter. That's 8, so that puts me in a 1. Okay. So they have Spellstutter, 1 unknown. So I guess if we drew a Songs here, I could try to get them to counter the Ploy. So let's cycle the Stinger. And we drew the Songs. Ooh, we have double Songs. So now we have to think about this. Because if they don't counter the Ploy, it's bad for me. I think I just have to let them counter the first one. Tough spot to be in. And they let it go. Wow. Okay, so let's cycle this. I'm a little surprised that they let songs resolve. Okay. What about songs number 2? 22 mana. Good deal. Let's cast Teachings. Okay, so now we can go get songs number 3. And let's cast this ploy first. They can't counter the ploy because they only have one other fairy in play. Unless they just have counter target spell in their hand. And they do. Okay, so Spell Stutter is not active. Oh, I didn't need to play that there. That was a small mistake on my part. How many Lotus Petals do we have? Cancel. 1 petal. 2 petals. So we have 2 petals left. We're fine. Okay. Someone in the comment section taught me a trick, and I could have done that trick right there, which is that you cast the songs with mana floating. It has to have a ton of mana floating, to the point where like the only thing that matters about that songs would have been the storm count. And then you reaping in response to the songs. Being an idiot, like I thought of it the second after I cast the songs, so I missed out on that cycle equity there. My own fault. Okay, and we're just gonna cycle a bunch here. We have no songs left in our deck, so you don't need to do the cycling with the multiple copies of Reaping the Graves on the stack. That's not necessary. Okay. 23 cards left. Dark Ritual. Cycle the Architects. We cannot cycle Street Wraith. Cycle the Stinger. Another Reaping. Storm's 9. Okay. Return a bunch of creatures. Ones that don't cost us life at the moment. Horror. Okay. Once again, there's no Songs of the Damned left in our deck. Okay, let's cycle this. And there's our petal. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow Blood Celebrant to make a bunch of mana once we draw the Blood Celebrant. Third this additional land. Okay, so now we're at 14. We can cycle Street Wraith pretty freely. Alright, so we want to find Blood Celebrant and the what is it called? Repository Scab, so that way we can play Scab, get back to songs, and then just make a bunch of mana. Okay, so we can cycle Street Wraith here. We're not going to need all 14 life, and there's the Celebrant. And I could start playing Stingers and cycling, but I feel like I just run the possibility of running out of mana, where I know that I have a guaranteed win right now if I just play Scab into songs. Okay, going down to 10. Cycle. And there's the Scab. Okay, so yes, I'd like to exploit, sacrifice that, return Songs of the Damned. Okay, so Songs makes 16 mana, pretty good number. Alright, so now we're going to play Stinger. Okay. Stinger. Well, let's just cast this, why not? I was trying to see if I could cycle in between after a few Stingers. The math didn't really work out. Not the end of the world. Okay. Another Stinger. And then we started blasting. Cycle this healer. 6 cards left in deck. Okay. Cycle the Ashburns. I don't believe there's any lands left, but just in case there are, let's go grab one. Okay. Draw. Dino time. Let's cycle this Imposing Vantasaur. And again. And again. That's going to be the end of game number 1. Take that, mono blue Faeries. Now we board in our mountain and then some copies of Pyroblast. I think that 2 copies of Teachings is a little bit clunky here. We could probably take out the Architects and then Lotus Petal. That is how I recommend sideboarding. If they're a build that has sideboard relics and stuff, you can board in the one of Shredded Sails, because Shredded Sails can also be used to kill Spellstutter Sprite, but I don't like boarding this in proactively just because a lot of these blue-red lists don't play any relics, so then you're just boarding in a possibly dead card, and that's just not really what I'm looking to do. So this is how I recommend boarding blind. Game number 2. We're on the draw, and honestly, this seems fine to me. I'm going to keep this. Having a bunch of lands is actually fairly good in this matchup, just because lands are... It allows you to power play them a little bit. You can just bully them with your mana. So I actually like this. Turn 1 Delver's not that good for us, but we'll be fine. Let's go get our mountain here. That way if we draw Pyroblast, we can use it. Okay, so does Delver flip? Does not. These Delvers are not trained. And another Delver. Okay, so the clock is fast here. Our additional lands won't be as good as I thought. Okay, I'm just going to pass. Okay, so let's see if the Delvers flip. Hopefully not. Hey, good sign. You 1/1 wizards. Alright, so we're going to fall to 17 life here. Ouch. And they're passing the turn. Let's cycle the Horror. And I don't like cycling Barrymore right away. I think that's a card that you want to be holding to get more information on whether or not you want to play it out or not. Pyroblast is a good draw. So we're just going to pass here. And I think what we want to do is cycle these 2 creatures and then the Barrymore. And wow, Delver not flipping again. This is one of the reasons that a lot of these Faeries decks don't play Delver anymore. Just because like your deck does run a lot of creatures in Pauper. So for example, Izzet tends to not play Delver, and then Dimir tends to not play Delver. So the only builds that play Delver traditionally are mono blue. They put 2 on the bottom with the Faeries here. So we're going to fall to 15. Okay, and let's cycle these. This could be a decent window for us to try to win if we happen to have the resources. I don't know if we will, though, because we can beat a spell stutter here with this Pyroblast. Okay, just cycle. Songs of the Damned for 4 is not that amazing. Draw. Unfortunate. Okay, let's cycle the Barrymore. Another copy of Petal. And here we're a little bit stuck. We need a Reaping the Graves now. 42 cards left in deck. So we've seen a decent number of cards. So if these flip, that's 7 coming in. And they did flip to Ponder. So they could have lethal next turn by playing a creature. Ponder, okay. Could really use a Reaping the Graves on our turn. Theoretically, I could try to Pyroblast a Delver here to buy time, but if they Spell Stutter it, I still don't have the resources to win. So I'm just going to take it and hope that they only put me to 1 next turn. Alright, draw. 3 Wraith. Yikes. I think we just have to take it. Let's go to 6. Blood Celebrant. Yeah, I think I'm just dead. So I'm going to try to get a little bit sneaky here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play Cabal Ritual, hope that they try to counter, and then we Pyroblast a Delver. Dispel. Okay. So let's Cabal Ritual again, and then we can go Petal Pyroblast. Alright, so they're down to 1 card in hand too. So now we kill the Delver and just hope that our next draw step is exactly what we need. We are dead to a ninja here. Or a mutagenic growth that they left in their deck. Okay, so we're dead. Let's see what the next draw would have been. Healer into a card we couldn't use. Alright, so we weren't going to get that game anyway. I think we just resubmit. Sometimes your deck doesn't give you what you need, and that happens in this format. Pauper is a high variance format. You don't have as many tutor effects. We did board out a Mystical Teachings, but I don't think Teachings is amazing in this matchup anyway. It's just a really, really juicy counterspell and dispel target. Unfortunately, we have to ship this. I don't like mulliganing in this matchup. And I think I'm going to keep this and bottom the Petal. Petal's not really a card you want in your hands. And we need our cyclers and our lands, so I think that's probably the best choice. Okay, keep bottom the Petal. And they decided to keep their 7. Good deal. Cycle Horror. Okay, so we can upkeep cycle this Ash Barrens to go get the mountain. And another turn 1 Delver of Secrets. Cycle. Mountain. Draw. We're just being lazy here and cycling the healer. Fine. Delver trigger. No reveal. Okay. So Delver getting in. 19. We're just going to pass here. I think we're going to triple cycle. Get rid of one of these Ash Barrens. I'm sorry, Baron Moors. Now the Delver trigger again. This time it flips to Ponder. Okay, Faeries here. So they're doing the same thing they did in game 1, where they always leave up 2 mana, which is a little bit of a tell. So we know that they have either Spell Stutter or Counter Spell. And now we're going to take 3 going to 16. Okay. Cycle the Barrenmoor. Swamp. Cycle the Stinger. We need more cycling creatures. Street Wraith is technically a cycling creature, but it's pretty bad against their aggressive clock they have here. We're going to cycle the Street Wraith going to 12. See if we can hit a 1 mana cycler. And we did. Okay. So we need mana and we need Song. Or I'm sorry, we need mana and Reaping the Graves now. Okay, so we're just going to pass. On their turn, we'll go get the last swamp out of the deck and then cycle these 2. Okay, so they're attacking for 4. We're gonna fall to 8. Okay, and they have 5 cards in hand. Not looking good for the home team at the moment. Cycle. Alright, so the last swamp is out of the deck. Cycle this Vantasaur. Another copy of Pyroblast. Okay, cycle the Horror. Another copy of Pyroblast. Not quite what we need here. Alright, so we hit a Songs. We do need a Reaping the Graves. Cycle this. Okay. So we're dead if they have like double mutagenic growth. So I think we're supposed to play out this Petal. So that way we can double Pyroblast. Okay. They have 6 cards. We're not in a good spot. Let's try to kill the Delver. Try killing the Delver again. We just need to buy time. Okay, and they let it go. So we're going to take 1 going to 7 here. Preordain. 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. So they have 4 cards. Another Fairy Seer. 3 cards. I'd love to draw Reaping the Graves. Would love it. We're over 33% at this point. Cycle Stinger. Cycle the horror. Come on, deck. Go to 5. Come on. Unfortunate. Okay. They have 4 cards. We might have lost our window there. Because now they untapped with 5 mana with 4 cards in hand after sculpting twice last turn. Both post-war games, we just never found the Reaping the Graves. Come on, please, deck. Be there. Dead. Back-to-back games, we just never found it. You're probably thinking like, well, you boarded out Mystical Teachings. That my plan has never changed. This is just a little bit of bad variance. And lose focus. Kill the Delver. They counterspell it, and then we are dead. Dead. D-E-D. There it is. Okay, so we lost round number 1. Losses happen. No need to get upset over it. We just have to play tight the rest of the way. 0-1. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Welcome to match number 2. We're on the play. Let's hope that we do it this time. Alright, this hand seems fine to me. We'll keep this. Okay. Swamp go on their end step. We'll cycle for either the swamp or the island, and then we'll grab the other one next turn. It looks like we're facing Faeries again. I guess it could end up being Blue-Eye Familiars, but it's probably just Faeries. Okay, let's cycle. Why not? Let's grab the swamp. Then upkeep, let's go grab an island. Alright, so we have 1 basic left in our deck. Pass the turn. Okay, so probably the Jeskai Ephemerate deck. Cycle. Alright, we're doing well so far. Very well. We want to keep that last basic in the deck because if they are playing Wildfire, we have a land to go get. Let's cycle the Stinger. Cycle Stinger. And we did not hit another cycler. So I would consider a value reaping on their turn. Just like Dark Ritual Reaping, get these 3 back cycle. Okay, so we're passing the turn. Let's see what they do. Land go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to take a draw. Cycle the Dino. I think I'm just going to discard the Scob and pass. We can always get that back later. And this way it makes an additional mana with the songs. Okay, and they have the red mana for Wildfire. I think it might be go time for us next turn. Yeah. Alright, we have Threshold already. And they're just strongly representing Counterspell this game. Ball Ritual. The Ball Ritual. Good Ball Ritual. Now Reaping will get back all of them. Okay. Doesn't really matter the order. And now we do the cycle trick that I talk about in previous videos, where you end up cycling right here because it has the greatest number of creatures in the graveyard at any point for Songs of the Damned. A lot of you end up asking that in the comments, so that's why I'm going over it again. This way, let's say you get low on mana and you cast Songs, it's just, you eke out a little bit of extra mana this way. Alright, so we're doing well. Cycle. Why not? Let's cycle the Baron more. Okay. Cycle the Stinger. Dark Ritual. Okay, now this is our last cycling creature. So once we brick on this, we should cast Songs before we return Scob. Okay, so I'm going to Songs here. See if they counter it. Songs is on the stack. What are you going to do, opponent? Counter target spell. Sure. Songs. And then that can happen. Let's just play this as a land. Play the Blood Celebrant. Okay. Let's sacrifice the Scob. Return Songs. And now I'll show you the trick that I was told last week, which is you cast Songs, and now let's return everything. So let's see how this works. We have 9, what would have made 9 mana. We're going to return the whole team. And the goal of this is that Songs at the end will make more than 9 mana. Okay. Perfect. Keep cycling. I guess we didn't really need to do it there because we had more storm than what we needed, but this is still the trick. Okay, cycle. Because you really only need to do it when you're short on storm, and we actually had enough storm there to keep going otherwise. Okay, keep cycling. Another reaping. Cycling. 22 cards left. Okay, so looks like the Songs will now resolve, and it will make 3 extra mana. So we got a free Dark Ritual out of that trick, essentially. I guess I can cycle here, see if I had another creature. And I did. Never punished. Okay, so we can let that resolve now. Play out our petals. Go to 15 life. Play this Scob again. Sacrifice it. Return Songs. You can never have too much mana. Let's cycle these. Why not? Okay. Going down to 13 life. Petal, Cabal Ritual. Let's gain some life. Let's cast Ploy. Gonna bring us down to 14 cards in deck. We have roughly infinite mana. Now we just want to end the game at this point, so we're gonna return some Stingers and then ping our opponent out. Okay, so that's going to essentially be game number 1 if you decide to skip ahead. But the rest of this game's just going to be me pinging your opponent for lethal. Sweet. Okay, 19 minutes on clock. That's plenty for the post-board games. Got some red mana. Good stuff. Cast these Stingers. 1 and a 2 and a tree. And a tree. Whoops. And a 4. Okay. Start blasting. Okay. I don't need to draw the cards. I can just cycle and end this. It's fine. This deck's so much fun. Woot woot! How about that? Alright, so we did the same thing we did last round where we won game 1. Now we need to win the post-board games. And once again, I'm going to take out a Teachings. It's not good against the decks that are boarding in Dispel, and then this deck has Pyroblast as well. So we're going to skim on 1 Teachings, board out some Architects, and try this out. Game 2 on the draw. I don't know if this is a keep or not. Can't cycle the Horror yet. Hmm. I don't know. I want to keep it though. For the science. Let's do it. Preordain. You've been deigned. 2 on top. Lotus petal. Let's just cycle the dino. I'm gonna play this out now. Just so that way, in case we mix next turn, they can't counterspell it. Okay, draw. You know what? I'm gonna Dark Ritual double cycle. If they have Dispel here, it's gonna stink. Cycle. Cycle. Dark Ritual? This might get dispelled. No? Okay. And now let's return our creatures. Pretty much just like a value reaping. Okay. I think that this is the right play just because otherwise we're stuck with a hand that doesn't do anything. So this way at least I can draw a few extra cards, try to get ahead. I don't know. Maybe this hand just wasn't a keep. Alright, cycle the dino. If we miss, we're going to discard ploy, and we did miss. Alright, so this is also a little bit of bad beats at this point because we're 25% of the way through our deck and we've drawn 1 land. Okay. Draw. Another Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. I even boarded in an extra land. What are you doing? This is a Muldrifter Ephemerate play? What it looks like. Muldrifter, okay. Maybe now you Ephemerate it. Okay. And then you'll have Dispel up. That's how this works. Or you're gonna let it go. Okay. Good deal. Let's see what we draw here. Ugh. You know what? I'm gonna save myself some time and just go to game 3. I don't think we're going to win this one. And you're stuck in a spot here where when you go to cleanup, you have to show your opponent Pyroblast or like discard a Cabal Ritual. I just should have molded that hand. I got punished. We also, like, I got punished for a bad keep. That happens in Magic, but it was also slightly unlucky in the fact that we went over 25% of the way through our deck and only found the initial land. So it is what it is. Should have mulliganed. Game 3 on the play. I'm going to try it. Opponent has taken a mulligan to 6. So the way that I see this hand playing out is we're probably going to do a value reaping at some point, and then use the other reaping as our real engine. So ideally off the Street Wraith, I would hit a 1-mana cycler and start chaining creatures. So we'll cycle here. I did not draw a creature. Draw for turn. Ash Barrens. So far, not ideal. Go grab that mountain, play it, and pass. I played another island, so they're representing counterspell. Draw. Whoops. Wrong card. Play the island, pass the turn. And no creatures yet. We do need to draw a few. Okay, so island go again. It looks like our opponent's stuck on a little bit of not having the artifact land to accelerate with their Wildfire. They're drawing all the basics in the deck. Okay, so we drew another creature. That's good. We can't cycle it off the mana that we have, but that's not the end of the world. Mountain. Okay. Draw. Let's just cycle the horror here. See what our draw step or draw is. I shouldn't say draw step. Cycle. Cycle this. I am liking this chain of creatures we hit. Okay, I think I'm actually just going to discard the horror here. That worked out. Okay, now they another basic. Still no lands for their Wildfires. That's a little bit obnoxious because it's going to remove a Street Wraith, and then they can flicker it or ephemerate it to remove more creatures. Yeah, that was a pain in the buns. Alright, so they have Counterspell Hydroblast up. Or Pyroblast, I mean. Counterspell Pyroblast. You gonna counterspell my Dark Ritual? Lose focus. So this does play around Pyroblast. I just have to let that go. So the part that stinks about that is that now if they have Ephemerate, they'll be able to remove more creatures. What's going on here? Seagate Oracle, you got it. And they found their artifact land. Good for them. Alright, but now's our window. We're going to have to try to take this again. We can beat a lose focus on this upcoming turn. Draw. Ash Barons, welcome to the party. Wall Ritual. So I'm going to just cast one of these songs normally, and then the next one I'll probably try to do the trick with. So let's cast that and then do this thing. Because we could, ideally this songs would make more than 5. Street Wraith. Horror. Alright, so let's cycle this. Okay, I'm not going to waste mana on cycling a Barrymore right now. Cycle the Horror. Okay. Not working out quite yet. Cycle. Jeez. Might just end up making 5 after all. Cycle. Jeez. If I can maybe get a little bit more out of this. Alright, I'm just gonna use the black. I'm afraid of casting a blue spell under their Pyroblast. See if this resolves. Dark Ritual. And let's try it again. Tight on mana now, though. Street Wraith. And then some other creatures. Mana is definitely the bottleneck. And now we're going to get the chain of creatures that I wanted off the previous one. Darn it. Okay, that was a good draw. Cycle. Cycle. And I think I'm supposed to songs here. Whoops. Because otherwise I just lose out on a mana. Cycle. Still running on fumes at the moment. Like, we're just not making a lot of mana and we're 3 songs down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 songs down. Not to be confused with 3 doors down. Not the same thing. Another Pyroblast. And cycle the Stinger. Okay, play out a Lotus Petal. I think I'm going to try to bait with the Ploy. See if this gets pyroed, and then we can teachings for the last songs. Do you have Pyroblast? No. Alright, let's cycle Stinger. 25 cards left. Celebrant. I unfortunately can't really effectively use it. If they have a Pyroblast here, this is the card they want to hit. If they Pyroblast this, that shows some discipline for not going after the Ploy. And they have that discipline. It looks like we're getting hit by the Red Elemental Blast here. Props to our opponent. That was very, very disciplined for sure. Okay, we're just going to play out Celebrant and pass. Okay. For choke points mana, we have to find the 4th copy of Songs and get it to resolve. Alright, so they finally did something. They're going to their combat step. I'll take 2 here going to 24. No reason to try to chump with our Blood Celebrant when we're at 26 life. And Ardent Alchemist. Sure. Getting back... what? We got back Lose Focus. Okay. We have to find songs. Well, that's certainly not it. I think I'm just gonna jumpstart the ploy here. Lose Focus is kind of annoying though, because now they can win the counterfight over Songs of the Damned. Really, you want to lose focus that? Maybe you have another one in your hand. I don't know. Hear this Baron more. Pass the turn. They have 4 cards. Cleansing Wildfire, sure. Got another mountain, that's interesting. I'm not gonna block here. Oh, sure. 24, you got it. Draw. Dino. So I technically have enough mana here where I could Cabal Ritual, Flashback Teachings, but it seems a little bit risky to me. Go get a Swamp out of her deck. Okay. Cycle the Vantasaur. Pass the turn. One has 4 cards in hand at the moment. 3 cards. Goodbye, Blood Celebrant. It's been real. Alright, so they have 2 cards. Even if one of them's a lose focus, I think we should be able to do something this turn. I could be wrong. Cycle the Healer. That's a good one. Let's play out the Petal first, actually. Ball Ritual. I guess if they have Pyroblast, it's actually kind of awkward. I can't beat an opposing Pyroblast. I'm going to try the Scob. It's a little bit more greedy because Galvblast is active, but the reward of Scob is so much higher than using Teachings. Okay, does the Exploit trigger resolve? And if they do have Galvblast here, I can still Reaping the Graves. Yet another Braid. Okay, so I can Reaping for 5 here. Return the Scob. And Street Wraith. Stinger. Stinger. Let's do Celebrant, why not? I'm actually going to have to discard a card here. Turn off auto yields, actually. Let's cycle the Street Wraith. Maybe I had a land. Another Pyro. I'm just going to play the Celebrant. It's fine. Opponent has 1 card in hand. 2 cards after the draw step. It's worth noting. They should be attacking with the Ardent Alchemist just because, like, that card isn't as relevant as they think it is. Let's cycle this Dino. I don't think I'm going to play the Scob here. I'm just going to cycle a bunch. Looking for the last copy of Songs in our deck. Cycle this, going down to 14. Cycle Stinger. Dark Ritual. Would get me a few more extra looks at songs. Let's do it. If they want to counter Dark Ritual, you just let them. Okay, cycle. That doesn't do anything. Cycle this. Cycle Horror. So, getting pretty close. We just have to pass here. 6 whole cards left in our deck. Alright, I will block the Elementalist. Draw. And there it is. Cabal Ritual. Let's try playing the Scob. See what they have in their hand. Also increases storm for this Reaping the Graves. Does the exploit trigger resolve this time? Yeah, blast. Sure. Okay. Well, this song's the damned resolve. And it does! Alright, so we're gonna get back Blood Celebrant as well as the Scob here. Stinger, Stinger, Wraith. Okay. 12 life. Play a blue. Play Scob. Exploit. Sacrifice. And what do we want to return? I think it's actually Reaping the Graves. Because, like, what does the songs do? We only have 3 cyclers. And then let's play it. We'll get back the Scob. Street Wraith. Stinger. Probably should have counted to see, actually, if I had a Reaping in the bottom 3. That would have been the wise play to do there. That might have actually just cost me. Okay. Play a Stinger. Okay. So they are choking our mana a little bit here. Songs make 6. It might be worth playing the Scob again, just because it makes a couple mana. Okay, let's get back songs. Okay, play Stinger. And now we can cycle a few copies of Street Wraith here. Okay, so that brings us down to 4 cards. Cabal Ritual. I guess if they have a piece of interaction here, let's just cast it. It's fine. And then we'll play another copy of Stinger. 4 cards left in deck. Cycle the Horror. This is going to bring us down to 3 cards. Cycle the... I'm going to play it safe here. It's just like, cycling is unnecessary. Our opponent probably doesn't have anything because the previous ritual resolved. But just in case it did, there's no punish for holding a Pyroblast there. Like, you don't need it to make any more mana than what it's already doing. Okay, this is the last card in our deck, so we can't draw any more after this healer. Okay, so we can't draw here. And then this should kill them. And just like that, we are 1-1. I don't think I played this round perfectly, especially that keep in game number 2. There's also a couple of questionable plays I made here in game 3, but the deck carried me. Also, it's turn 12. This deck can definitely grind. Storm mechanic's very strong. Let's just see if we can play better moving forward and possibly win out. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot, everyone's favorite Stormwind condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, 8 Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice, we've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. Match number 3, we're on the draw. I'm going to try this hand out. Let's see where we go from here. This usually means like the, what are they called? I can't think of it right now. The 1 and a white 2/3 flying creature that returns a permanent to its owner's hand. Well, to your hand. It only targets your stuff. Ooh, are you just Orzhov Pestilence. Okay. So this hand isn't that good against Orzhov. Yeah, this is not great. We're light on creatures. They're a Bajuka Bog deck. You don't have any action spells at the moment. Lotus Petal isn't really a card you want to open against them. We have 3. I guess the silver lining here is that the Orzhov deck is very slow. Okay, so we're going to take a hit from the Thraben Inspector. On the red step, we're going to cycle Barrenmore. Yep, you can have spare supplies. So cycle. Oh, I meant to cycle that. Whoops. That's annoying. We're just going to play out a pedal here. I don't want to overextend into a possible Bajuka Bog. So I'm going to hold this till their end step. Okay, so we're going to take another one from the Inspector here, going to 18. Good deal. Swamp. 4 mana? Thorn. You got it. Cycle. Dark Ritual. We need more Cyclers and Reaping the Graves. That's what we want right now. Come on, give me a Reaping. Cycle. Bummer. Okay, we're just at the mercy of our opponent right now. 2 mana. Or Skyfisher. That's the name of the creature I was thinking of. So they are a Skyfisher deck. Not Bajuka Bog. I like that. Come on, deck. Please give me a Reaping the Graves. Roughly, like, 18% of the way through. Another Core Skyfisher. Sure. Give me a Reaping. Blood Celebrant. Alright. Nothing going on here. Spare Supplies is back. Okay, so we're going to take 5 here, going to 9. Our time is running out. And there's the Bog. Damn it. Yeah, I think that they got us. Unfortunate. Draw. Let's cycle Barrenmore, I guess. Cycle. Play out the pedal and pass. It would take a lot for us to win this game, I think. Let's just cycle this. I mean, I have to try to draw into something. Alright, so the Barrymore was secretly an okay draw there because they can't discard it with the Castigate, and it's still a draw that helps me dig for Reaping the Graves. They took a Cabal Ritual, right? Oh, they took Dark Ritual. Sure. It's probably the weakest card in my hand. They picked up the Bog. Founder's Ornament. Sure. So I will block this turn if they attack. Allows our songs to make a little bit of extra mana. Also gives me 1 additional Street Wraith draw if possible. But we're not in a good spot. We found a Reaping. So this gives me Threshold. We can cast Cabal Ritual, cycle Barrenmore, hope to hit. We need a chain of creatures here. Right, Healer, that's a start. Dark Ritual's not good enough. Okay, so now I can Reaping and return all 4 creatures we have. I think we're just screwed. Healer, Stinger, Horror. Okay, cycle. Cycle. Return. Cycle. Cycle. A Cabal Ritual here. Still theoretically possible, but we'd have to hit another Reaping the Graves. Alright, I'm going to increase our odds a little bit. I'm going to take a Swamp out of the deck. Cycle here. Songs. Cycle. Okay, there's 27 cards left. We have 3 Reaping the Graves. Let's go. Okay, now we're down to our final draw. We have 3 Reaping and 1 Mystical Teachings. 5 hits, 26 cards. Ploy. Ploy was fine. Secretly fine. Let's discard the Swamp because we can play another land later. Cycle the Street Wraith. Ding. Okay. So even if we didn't hit the Reaping here, we could jumpstart this ploy using the Blood Celebrant. So I think I want to cast these. Play the Celebrant. We're going to jumpstart ploy. Just, you know, why not? Discard the Dark Rit, Cabal Ritual. Can't believe we're going to win this game. Kind of wild. Alright. So we're just clicking on all of our creatures. Then we'll be winning the game shortly. They are at 26, so we're gonna have to deal quite a bit of damage here. I think they did not exile Stinger. I thought they got one earlier. Okay. We have plenty of mana. Cycle. Set up our auto yields. Cycle here. Okay, perfect. Just cycling our way through. Cycle the Dinosaur. Great for your legs. Terrific cardio. I highly recommend cycling every day. Just good for your health. Okay. Cycle the healers. Okay, so the Scob's okay because it's going to get back, not Reaping the Graves, Songs of the Damned at some point. And another Stinger, perfect. Play that bad boy out. Going down to 12 mana. Now each cycle deals 2. Dark Ritual. Cycle this Ash Barrens, go get the last basic in the deck. Okay, we'll play the Swamp. Cycle the Healer. Cycle Barrenmore. Ideally, in a perfect world, I wouldn't need to cast another Reaping the Graves just because I don't want to click and I'm lazy. Alright, let's play out this Stinger. They're at 10, so I need 4 cycles at the moment, and we have 2 in hand. Okay, and other songs, I'm not going to complain about that. Unfortunately, that is 1 short. So I'm going to cycle this. It doesn't do anything, it's just going to ping them for 1. Okay. Whoops. And they conceded. Good deal. For a little bit, I was running a second Scob on the board for this matchup, but it just wasn't coming up enough. These Orzhov decks have sort of fallen out of favor a little bit, but I have noticed that sometimes they have Prismatic Strands, so Flaring Pain is a card I think that you want to board in. I haven't checked recent lists, but I do think Flaring Pain is worth having. So we're going to board in the Pain. And I don't hate taking out a Petal for a land here just because consistency is so important. And I'm going to keep that. So one of the things that I like doing to beat Bojuka Bog is that you just make your land drops without cycling too much. And here we've opened up the Flaring Pain. Not really a card we want in our starting 7. But I still think that this hand's probably a keep. But you end up just like not cycling a whole lot. And then you cycle a whole bunch on their turn. So depending on if we start drawing into more creatures off this Vantasaur, I don't know. I feel like we're probably going to have to cycle the Barrenmore and not play it as a land, but we'll see. Alright, we drew a horror. Draw. Good deal. Let's cycle this. Go get a swamp. Play it. Pass. So I think I'm actually going to cycle the Baron more on their turn because I don't want to incentivize them to Bojuka Bog me. Like, this matchup really is about Bojuka Bog. Okay. You have a Barons. Imagine that this deck just destroys Burn. Like, it's just got so much life gain in it. Alright, let's cycle the Baron more here. 3 Wraith, good deal. Draw. And here, I'm going to do what I said. I'm not going to play into their bog. I'm just going to discard the Flaring Pain that probably doesn't matter that much. And then on their end step, I'm going to triple cycle looking for Reaping the Graves and then try to win on my turn. Yep, you have an ornament. That's fine. So this is usually how you try to beat this deck, where you just don't play into their best card against you. Okay, let's cycle Horror. We want to find a Reaping the Graves. That 3 Wraith was pretty good. Untap, draw. I mean, we have a lot of creatures. Reaping would probably win the game here. Cycle. Cycle this. Uh-oh. Dark Ritual. Can I get a Reaping the Graves? No. Hand is all mana. No Reaping. Now we're going to get bogged into Oblivion. Ugh, this is going to suck. No bog. Wow. Okay. I'll take it. Sure, I don't care about that thing. If you're trying to out-life gain me, that is not going to work. But let's just see if we can draw Reaping now. We're 33% of the way through. Cycle this healer. Come on. Ding. Dong. You're dead. Okay. Every day I'm making mana. So why don't we use this first one, and then we're going to try to do that cycle trick. And now we can return all of our dead friends. So this is a perfect example of what we were talking about previously, where we need the storm from these songs, but now we're going to try to make these songs worth more than 8 mana. So shoutouts to the YouTube commenter that showed me this trick. I didn't consider it before. It's certainly like a clever play. It's not like the world's like greatest play, but it's certainly something I should have been doing the last like year of playing this deck, that's for sure. I probably could have figured this out on my own. Okay, just keep cycling. Just a nice way of getting some extra mana out of your deck. Going down to 6. We do need another action spell here. Ding. We have not played a land yet, so we can play the island into teachings, or we could just draw the card we need. Okay, so right now, Scob's a good one. Cycle. Alright. So we get to return one more. Alright, let's let this resolve. And that resolves. So we end up getting 4 extra mana out of each of them, which is pretty good. Play the Blood Celebrant. Let's play the Scob. Exploit. Get back Songs of the Damned. All the mana. Okay. I'm just going to play this because I'm lazy. We have 50 mana. It's more than enough. Okay. So at this point, we just have to find our stingers and start pinging your opponent out. Bring all of our friends home. No need to do anything else. We have 48 mana floating. We can just return everything. And I'm actually going to play out a healer here, because we're going to end up cycling a bunch and we're going to need to make a bunch of mana. So we'll need a little bit of life gain. Okay. Let's cycle this dino. We're about to do a lot of cardio. I hope you're ready. Okay. Oh, I drew a stinger. I noticed it just a hair too late, so I lost out on 1 point of damage. That's fine, though. Okay, set up our auto yields. And our opponent has conceded. Sweet. 2-1, bouncing back, 3 rounds left to go. We will need to win all 3 in order to make top 8. But 1 round at a time, just play tight, make good decisions. That's the key to success. I will see you in match number 4. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Welcome to round number 4. We're on the play. And we cannot keep that, so we're going to ship it. This seems fine. I think we just bottom Cabal Ritual. I think we should probably keep Teachings, so that way we have a way of finding Reaping the Graves. Although I am somewhat tempted to bottom the Teachings, but I think we're supposed to keep it. It's just a lot easier to find rituals than it is action. Keep, bottom this Cabal Ritual, and let's go. They decided to keep 7. Swamp past the turn. Okay, Forest. Alright, so they're Bogles. Let's cycle this healer. Untap, and then draw. Okay, so we found a land. Let's cycle this Vantasaur. And now I wish I would have kept that Cabal Ritual, but we found one anyway. Alright, let's play the Baronmoor. Pass the turn. I think we're going to need the Baronmoor for mana for this Cabal Ritual, which is why I want to play it out. Rancor, so we're going to go to 13 here. They missed their second land. Let's cycle this Horror, another Songs. So I could go Songs, Reaping. I think I'm going to wait a turn. I don't think they're going to kill me here. Even if they draw White Source and play Ethereal Armor, it's not lethal. And there's their White Source. Although it's a turn slow. Alright, so we're going to go to 8 here. Draw. And we got a little bit of extra equity out of it. That can get us a blue mana. So let's play the Cabal Ritual now. Because we have Threshold, cycle this, go get a blue. Grab the island. 8. We do need to up our Storm. I think I'm going to play the Ploy now. I mean, theoretically worked out. I wonder if I should discard the Teachings, though. Yeah. So then this... I guess by discarding Scab, it makes 2 mana. Okay. So this one we're going to try doing that trick on. We have 11 mana. This should work. So it would have made 7. We'll start on Street Wraith, 4, Vantasaur, Healer, and then it turns out we're leaving the Dino, which I thought I had enough to bring everything back, but I guess I'm wrong. Happens a lot. Alright, cycle. Okay, we're hitting a chain of creatures here. And that's the 4th copy of Songs, I believe. 1, 2, 3rd copy of Songs. No, it is the 3rd one's on the stack, so that is Songs number 4. We've played our land this turn, so these are not good draws. Cycle. Really want a Lotus Petal or Blood Celebrant. We just fizzle? I think we did. I mean, I can still cycle the Baronmoor, but I think we fizzled. Might as well go get the Swamp out of the deck. Cycle. Ding. Okay, so this is going to resolve. It ended up making 3 extra mana. play the Cabal Ritual. But I think we're supposed to use Scob here to get back the Reaping the Graves. I guess I could Teachings for Graves too and then have this for Songs. Does that matter? Probably not. So let's play this. Exploit. We'll get back Reaping. Okay, now this makes an extra mana. Cast this. And then Reaping again. We should be able to get back everyone this time. Wraith. Wraith. Okay. Cycle down to 3. Down to 1. And now Blood Celebrant shut off until we draw a petal that could later on flashback the ploy. Okay. I guess I don't need to do this. We've already used all of our songs. I should just let these all return. We don't have any songs left in our deck, so there's no point in making that play. Alright, so let's cycle this. There's a petal. Okay, let's cycle Ball Ritual. So the reason I'm going to keep cycling here before I jumpstart the ploy is if I fizzle, we can gain so much life that it doesn't matter what they do next turn. Okay, just keep cycling. Cycle the Horror. And again. 20 cards left. Cycle the Stinger. Alright, we have not found the Blood Celebrant yet. Down to 14 mana. 16 cards in deck, 15, and there's the Celebrant. Boom. So that worked out well. We're going to jumpstart Ploy here. Let's just discard a Swamp. And again, now we're at 33 life, which is roughly 1 million. And we'll go down to 31. 11 cards left in deck. Play the Blood Celebrant. And now we can play Scob to get back songs. Where are you? There you are. So it makes 16 mana at the moment, but it's pretty free to just keep on cycling Stingers, or these healers, I mean. Okay. Cast the songs, and now we're Reaping. We're just going to return the whole graveyard. Okay. And our opponent conceded. Good deal. That was game number 1 over Bogles. Now we get to bring in our Spore Frogs, our Froggy friend. Recently I've been trying out boarding up the 4th copy of Barrenmoor. I think it's fine, and then we just board out the Architects. I do like Teachings in this matchup. I don't like getting rid of those, so this is what I would recommend. Trading the Forest for Barrenmoor is a pretty even swap, in my opinion. They're both not ideal lands to open up on. And I think Lotus Petal just has more value throughout the game. Formerly, or previously, we were boarding out a Petal for land 13, and I think I just like this configuration a little bit more. And Spore Frog for Architects is very similar to the plan we had back when we were playing Darkness. Okay, game number 2 against the Bogles. Good deal. Keep. Slide this Reaping the Graves over here, and yeah, this hand's very strong. I think how this hand loses is that we don't have the cycling velocity we need. So if we get stuck cycling one creature per turn, for example, that could be an issue. Alright. Ash Baron. So they're probably going to grab a Plains here and then play like Ethereal Armor or something. I don't even know if Bogles plays a Plains. I mean, I imagine if they're playing Ash Barons, there's probably a Plains in there. But with, what is it called? Utopia Sprawl, they might just need to play all forests. And there's the Sprawl. I'm checking the list right now to see if there's, okay, there is a few copies of Plains in the most recent list. Draw. Let's cycle the Horror. And then, assuming that I miss, I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith. Ashburns was a good pickup. We'll just cycle a Vantasaur here. Woot woot, look at us. Doing well so far. Rancors come down. And another one. Serial Armor? That's 9. So they're representing lethal next turn. It's go time. Draw. No need to play off the forest quite yet in case we want to play an island later. Okay, Teachings isn't bad. Let's play Cabal Ritual. Let's play the first songs and then let's just cast the Reaping. See what we're working with first. Street Wraith and then return the other creatures. Okay, going down to 6 life. Cycle. Okay, cycle the Vantasaur. I think we can afford to cast this Dark Crit. Cycle. Scob's okay. Cycle this. And Stinger. So the songs didn't really end up making much more mana. I'm gonna cycle the Horror or the Barrymore here. Ball Ritual, that's an interesting one. We can play the Petal. I could go a long way about it. I could songs, play Scob. Actually, is there a better way of doing this? I'm gonna start off by playing this and then playing Cabal Ritual. So now if I play Scob, I can pick up the Reaping, which puts an extra creature to the graveyard for the songs. Okay. And now I can cast this songs. And then Teachings for another. They'll leave. If I cast the Teachings, there'll be 1 songs left in the deck. And if I just cast Reaping, I'd have 5 mana floating, so picking up the Repository Scab doesn't actually do a whole lot. So if I do the Teachings play, it essentially only makes 2 mana. So I don't think that's worth it. I'm just going to cast Reaping here. Okay, Street Wraith. And then just the other creatures. Okay, cycle. Good deal. Just keep cycling. Wow, 2 very strong draws there. Okay, cycle. That's all 4 copies of songs now. So I'm going to go to 2 and cycle the Street Wraith. Cycle the Imposing Vantasaur. Go to 1. Mana floating, that is. And cycle the Healer. I think I want a songs here. I want to keep that blue mana open. Okay. We're doing fine so far. Now Scob's coming back. Before that does, I'm going to cycle this Barrymore. Try to just pinch out a few more mana off this Songs of the Damned. Yeah, I'm going to cast the songs. Okay. We have 17 mana. I'm going to play the Scob again. Pick up songs, and I think we should have it from here. Got a little bit lucky with our draws off that last Reaping, hitting double Songs of the Damned plus double Reaping was just like, we had very few resources, so that was very fortunate. I'm not going to pretend that was skill. And being at 2 life means that when we find Drannith, or not Drannith, Blood Celebrant, we should be able to just fire this off and win. And there's no Songs of the Damned left in our deck, so we can just return all the creatures and cycle. We don't have to cycle anything with the copies on the stack. Okay, so 22 mana. It is a lot, but in theory we could fizzle. Because we have to cycle cards And we're out of songs, so like in the middle we want to start finding cabal rituals and other stuff like that. How we win is we're going to scab back the songs at some point and then just make mana that way. All right, cycle. We cannot cycle Street Wraith. That is not allowed. Okay. Blood Celebrant. So that was actually pretty good. So let's play that. Go to 1 life. Play a healer. They on F6, then my dead got shot. God damn it. Ugh. Yeah, I can't beat that. They board in gut shot to deal with their frogs. And I can't, I could have beaten this too if I just thought about it a second longer. And I can't cycle into ploy. Because I don't have a blue source I can play. Alright, so they got me. That's unfortunate. Try it again. Okay. This seems okay enough. I don't know how I want to handle this Ash Barrens. I think I'm going to cycle Street Wraith for a little bit of additional information first. Okay, let's see if I hit a land. I did not. So I could burn the petal to cycle the Ash Barrens for a swamp. Probably just the best play. Cycle the Ash Barrens. Alright. So we're looking for a Reaping the Graves this game. The Spore Frog can buy us time. We saw that they boarded in Gut Shot to kill the Spore Frog, so that could end up biting us in the butt a little bit. Let's cycle this Ash Barrens. We'll grab the Forest. And then just cycle. No need to play out the Frog yet. Utopia Sprawl, you got it. They have 4 cards. Abundant Growth, okay. Into armor. They have the armor. So we'll be taking 4 here. Okay. Let's cycle the healer. Swamp was okay. We need to find a Reaping the Graves immediately. Play out the frog. Pass the turn. Okay. Mask makes that a very large creature. Let's fog and hope that we draw on our turn. A little mad at myself for losing game 2 to Gut Shot, and now I'm in a position where I could die. Yeah, we're all in on the Street Wraith draw. And that's it. I lost the match to Gut Shot because I played recklessly. Damn. That stinks. Okay, 2-2. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Alright, match number 5, we're on the draw, and I think that we can afford to keep this hand. We have a little bit of time. Plains? Ooh, likely Boros. Okay, I like the Ash Barrens pickup. That was a good one. In our upkeep, we're probably going to cycle for the island. And it is, in fact, Boros. Hawking. Okay, picked up 3 Hawks. Upkeep, let's cycle this for a basic island. Draw. Oh, lovely. Let's just go get a swamp out of the deck. Basically, we just don't want to be drawing into more lands, so it's fine. And another hawk. So, next turn, even with a rally, it's not lethal. Okay, let's cycle this horror. Beautiful. Cycle. And cycle again. If we need to, next turn we could also ploy to try to gain a little bit of life. What is this? Backing the clue. Okay. Interesting that they left the plains untapped and not the mountain. So now we're at 13. Let's cycle the architects. Alright, I think it's go time. Dark Ritual. We have Threshold, we can cast Cabal Ritual. Cycle Stinger. Cycle Stinger again. Cycle the Street Wraith. Dark Ritual. The extra songs is perfect. Okay. Let's cast the first songs. And then let's repository scab it back. Sacrifice it. Get back the songs. Cast it. And now on this one, we're going to do that trick. Okay. This deck is so fun. Okay, so we needed to make more than 8 mana in the long run. Which should be enough. Like, we should hit 8. Why not? Let's cycle the Baron more. Just digging deep. And another Songs of the Damned. So we'll have plenty of mana. We just need to find another Reaping the Graves at some point, or a Lotus Petal for this Mystical Teachings. Ding. Cycle the Architects. Already down to 34 cards. Cycle Architects again. Cabal Ritual, welcome home. Cycle. Alright, going down to 7 life here. Dark Ritual. Cycle the Horror. Okay, so it ended up making 2 extra mana with all that extra work. Like, it's fine. 2 mana isn't terrible. Okay. Let's scab back another songs. Okay. Did they concede? Okay, they did concede. They got sick of our shit. Alright, I think we just do the Flaring Pain for the Architects. Easy does it. Game 2, we're on the draw. This seems fine to me. We'll try this out. I'm really looking at this Baron more as a card that I can afford to cycle later. One is quickly mulligan to 5. I can't but wonder if that means that they're a build that has Relic in it. I did notice that from the Saturday challenge, there was a single list in top 8 that had 1 Relic in it. So maybe they're just mulling because their hand stinks, but it's a thought in the back of my head. And you're Hawking. Stephen Hawking. Alright, let's just grab a Swamp. So we have plenty of mana and Reaping the Graves. We need more creatures. Draw. Not a creature. So on their end step, we're going to double cycle. Looting. So if they have Prismatic Strands, this is a good opportunity for our opponent to discard it and then hold it up with the Squadron Hawk that they can play this turn if they have an untapped land. And they don't have an untapped land, but they did discard Rally and Strands, and there's their untapped white creature to represent Strands. Don't really care about that. We cited in the Flaring Pain. The Prismatic Strands isn't a big deal. Okay, let's cycle the Baron Moor here. And then off the island, we'll cycle Architects. So we only have the 1 creature at the moment. We do need to draw some more. There's a start. Another Lotus Petal. Let's cycle the Stinger. Gross. You know what? I'm going to just Divination here. Not even, it's worse than Divination, but I just need be able to keep cycling. Okay, they're sacrificing their clue. Seeker of the Way, you got it. We're going to take 2 here, going to 17. Draw. Songs of the Damned. Cycle this Architects. Street Wraith, let's cycle the Stinger. Cycle Street Wraith looking for a land. Okay. That wasn't terrible. So our opponent here could flashback Rally the Peasants, but it's not quite lethal yet. So I wouldn't expect them to do that. But next turn, on our turn, it's going to have to be go time. Because the turn after that, they will be representing lethal. And there's the relic. We might actually be able to beat that. With the way our hand's currently constructed, I think we can actually beat the card. Okay, so we'll take 5. Okay, draw. Another songs. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Can I get a Cabal Ritual? Cycle Horror. Vantasaur. Go to 8 and cycle the Street Wraith. Cycle the Dino. Okay, so we've hit a number of creatures here. Dark Ritual. See if they respond to the Songs of the Damned. Songs of the Damned. So they're probably going to respond to our Reaping the Graves, and I can try to Reaping in response to that. So let's pick up Horror here. The card we do have to keep in the back of our head is Lightning Bolt, but they're probably going to sack. And then I won't have to worry about that. It'd be best if they did it with the trigger on the stack right here. Okay, so they did this correctly where they're casting Strands first and then activating the Relic. Come on, use Relic now. Because then I'll still get the triggers. So this actually worked out really well for me. Okay. So because they were a little bit impatient, we actually get to punish our opponent here. Okay. So now with this trigger on the stack, we cycle. Beautiful. Okay, we're at 4, so we just need to not kill ourselves. Just keep cycling. We will need a Flaring Pain to beat them. Can't forget about that. 30 cards in our opponent's deck. I don't know, or our deck. I don't know why I said opponents there. Sorry, trying to multitask, like, it's not easy playing and recording all the time. Okay, let's cycle this Stinger. Okay. Just keep cycling. 24 cards left. Cycle again. Honestly, we're not even going to need the trigger, but we'll take it, right? Cast Cabal Ritual. And let's go to 2. Okay. Let's pull a basic land out of our deck. Songs. Teachings. Let's get the Ploy. Cast Ploy. I know that the Reaping the Graves is on the stack. I don't really need to use it right now, but I'll do what I want. Sure. So we have 15 mana floating. I'll cycle this. Perfect. Alright, so now we return 6 creatures. I'll return 4 copies of Street Wraith. Stinger. 13 cards in deck. We know that 2 of them are Blood Celebrant and Flaring Pain. Okay. Whoops, I don't want to cast you. Undo. Cycle. Cycle. Ooh, another songs. It's great. Cycle. Look at all this mana. Okay, just keep cycling. I think there's actually another basic in the deck, so we should pull it out with this Ash Barrens. Ding. Cycle. Keep going. And there's our bloody friend. Cast this. Okay. 4 cards left. We might as well cycle the Stingers. It's fine. Okay. Add a red. Show them that they're dead. Songs. Add a blue. Scob. Exploit. Get back the songs. Cast it. And now we'll return everyone. Easy does it. Nice Relic of Progenitus. And Prismatic Strands. Okay. Sorry, we have a lot of creatures. It's just a lot of clicking here. Now we return everyone with 40 mana floating. I think our opponent's hope here is that we deck ourselves on accident, which isn't going to happen. Okay. Let's add 4 red. Blood Celebrant, so strong. Okay. Where's my other Stingers? There they are. Good deal. And we're just never going to draw a card here. We're just going to let these triggers resolve, but before we would draw, we just cycle instead, so that way we never deck ourselves. Okay. Cycle again. Cycle. Cycle. Just a few more. And this will do it. Okay, so we have defeated Boros Monarch or Boros Bully, Boros Midrange, whatever you like to call it. I'm sure they're different decks, but I'm not going to listen to you tell me why. And we're 3-2, 1 round left to go. Unfortunately, we're dead for top 8 because I misplayed last round. But it is what it is. Live and learn. I will not make that mistake again. That was just very reckless of me, and it cost me this event. So, you know, not going to dwell on it. Just going to try to win the last round and maybe top 16 this thing. All right, the final round, round number 6, we're on the play. I was an 18th coming in, so if we win, there's a chance at top 16. Definitely not for top 8, though. And we have to mulligan this. Yikes. Part of me just wants to suicide Dark Ritual, double cycle. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go bananas. Dark Ritual. Cycle. 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 Well, that didn't work. That's the turn. Alright. Are you Bogles? Elves. Draw. Alright. No luck. Have to pass the turn. We're not out of this yet, for what it's worth. Okay. The Scab was not a good draw. Ooh, Titania is scary. Yeah, okay. We're not going to win this game. We needed better draws than these two. Elvish Vanguard, you got it. Roughly 1,000,000 mana. Well-wisher, sure. Lead the Stampede. Timberwatch. So they just have lethal next turn now. Yikes. Okay. Yep. Sure. Alright, so even if I drew a forest, I guess maybe if I drew like Street Wraith into forest, or Street Wraith into swamp. But that game did not pan out like we wanted it to, so we're going to just go to the post board games. And honestly, I don't think I'm supposed to sideboard. You could sideboard in Spore Frog over Architects, but I think you just want to stay consistent. And maybe on the draw you could board and Spore Frog, but definitely not on the play. Game 2 on the play. Let's try this again. Sure, we'll keep. I think we're going to sacrifice the Lotus Petal to cycle the Ash Barrens, and then cycle this Horror of the Broken Lands after that. This hand's fine. Sometimes you just have to look at these hands as like you're like in between a mulligan to 6 and keeping a 7. And the reason why it's in the middle is that having the cards in the graveyard matters for Threshold. So take what you can get, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Cycle this Ash Baron. Grab the Swamp. And we're already almost to Threshold. By that I mean 3 cards in. Okay. Birch Lore, you got it. Draw. Cycle this Dino. Pass the turn. Getting in there. Draw. Cycle. Pass the turn. Right now, we're a little bit light on creatures. I'd love to draw like a Street Wraith or something here. I'm going to cast a Dark Ritual first. I think I might want to Reaping the Graves. Okay, Architects was good, so now we have 5. Hold on. I do have Threshold. Let's cast the Cabal Ritual. Cycle. And another Reaping, that's pretty good. Okay. And I can hang on to these songs for a little bit. I don't need to cast them yet. Okay, so cycle this Drannith Healer. Cycle Healer again. So if I wanted to, I could cycle this Horror so that way these make 1 extra mana. But I lose out on the ability to make blue. I think I'm just going to burn a songs here instead. Okay. So now we return the Vantasaur, cycle it. Ball Ritual's a good one. Cycle this Baron more. Okay. Island. Cast the songs. And then return the Architects. Oop, don't want to cast you. That's a misclick. Cycle. Okay, that was a terrific draw. Because now we get to return Songs of the Damned. Boom. Okay, make 10 mana. Now we return the Scab. Love it. So this should bring everyone home. We don't have any Street Wraiths yet. It's worth noting. I must have misclicked on one. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Cycle. Teachings. That can get another songs. Blood Celebrant. Okay. Cycle. Cycle again. 6 mana. Alright, I'm allowed to cycle 1 more creature. Alright, I'm gonna Teachings for our songs here. This will make 12 mana. We'll still have 1 more songs left in the deck. Cycle. A lot of lands. I mean, it sort of makes sense because we were tight on mana in the beginning of the game. Right? Just keep cycling. Okay. Boom. That is the last Songs of the Damned. Ball Ritual. Okay, so now we'll go to 17 and play the Scab again. Exploit. Get back songs, wherever it is. Okay. Make roughly 500,000 mana. Cycle. Oh yeah, we haven't even seen any Street Wraiths yet, which is kind of wild. Why not? Let's cast the ploy. Because I can. Now it's Reaping the Graves. From 20. Okay, so we've selected all of our creatures. Now we're going to return them all, play a few copies of Stinger, and then just go to town. Okay, so let's cast the Stinger. Ouch. Those are our only 2 Stingers at the moment, so we'll just start cycling. We need 10 cycles right now, not the end of the world. Okay. Just keep cycling. This dinosaur's in a cardio. Okay. Almost there. No point in even casting another Stinger at this point. Okay. 6 cards left in deck, and this should do it. So that's game number 2. We just have to get game number 3 from Elves, a traditionally pretty favored matchup. I'm just going to resubmit. I don't really think Spore Frog's where I want to be. I think we just want to try to consistently win the game, and I don't want Spore Frog wrecking that, so I am not going to sideboard. Pretty good hand. Let's keep this, I think. It's a little bit slow, but it has a lot of potential. Our opponent is mulliganed all the way down to 5. What is this icon? I have literally no idea what this is. Apparently it's some sort of legend, I guess. Maybe it's a commander card. I don't know. Sentinel, sure. Reaping was a terrific draw. Okay, our opponent has 3 cards in hand. What are you going to do? Okay, so they drew Elvish Vanguard. You got it. Now they can cast another elf here. So now that Vanguard's a 2/2 and they have 1 card in hand. Okay, let's cycle the horror here. I think we just want to play this Baron more. Hang on to the island for a turn. With these creatures both being black-based, I think we want to play the Baron more so that way we have the velocity to go through our deck and don't get stuck cycling 1 creature per turn. Alright, our opponent's back and they've cast a Llanowar Elves, and now they're casting Lead the Stampede. And they picked up a single Timberwatch Elf. Not the luckiest Lead the Stampede. Alright, let's cycle. And we also know now that our opponent does not have Dispel in hand, which is a card that a lot of Elves lists sideboard into. So, I mean, if they don't play anything other than the Timberwatch here, we'll have a pretty good idea, but it's something that we're aware of now. There's the Timberwatch. And they got in. Alright, so they also didn't leave back Dispel mana, so I think we're supposed to just try to jam this turn. Cycle Street Wraith. And here we go. Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. If it lets me cast it. Cabal Ritual. Cycle Healer. Just keep cycling. And again. Love cycling. Okay. Play this Ash Barrens, tap it, cycle the Stinger. Want to keep our black mana if possible. Okay. Let's cast the songs and then play the Scab. Exploit it. Get back the songs. So much mana. Is this one of those situations where I'm supposed to do the songs trick? Probably. Alright, we'll return the Scab. Okay. Wraith. Probably should have returned the Wraiths a little bit earlier, but not the end of the world. Okay. Just keep cycling. So it would have made 13 before we started this. Another song's okay. Pretty good. We're not going to cycle that. Cycle this, though. Cast songs. That made 17 mana. Cycle here. Alright, we'll go to 8. Cycle. Cycle this Baron more. Why not? Just keep cycling. Cycle Street Wraith. So now this is going to return Scob. Alright, so I made an extra 3 mana. I mean, that's not nothing. Alright, now we play the Scob again. Exploit it. Return songs. Cast it, and then Reaping the Graves will bring everyone back. Street Wraith, and then everyone else. Okay, and at this point in the game, I'm just going to return everyone. I don't really feel like cycling through. We have 40 floating mana. We don't need to do that sort of stuff anymore. We're just really looking for Blood Celebrant. Because then we can play Ploy into a bunch of Stingers and just start paying your opponent out. Where are you, my bloody little friend? Alright, we drew a couple of copies of Lotus Petal. We can play those out. I suppose I can just start casting Stingers too. I don't necessarily need to draw Blood Celebrant. You can do it the old-fashioned way. Okay. Let's remove the lands in the deck. We do have a couple lands in there, I believe. Okay. Pull those out. Don't want to waste our real cycles on those. Cycle Architects. Do a Dark Ritual. Cycle Architects. Blood Celebrant, my old friend. Go to 5. Play another Stinger. Let's cycle the Vantasaur, why not? Okay, let's make a blue and cast this Ploy. Discard a Swamp. 35 life. That's what I'm talking about. Cycle the Street Wraith. Okay, just need 2 more cycles. Cycle Street Wraith. And cycle Street Wraith. That's going to do it. Hopefully we top 16 this thing. We're definitely not going to top 8. 4-2 today. 66 match win percentage is decent. I could have played better, and I think if I did, you know, I'm not saying that we would have went 5-1, but there was at least the possibility because I threw away that match against Bogles. I didn't need to pay life there. I could have kept cycling till I hit a Lotus Petal and just made sure that I never lost to the gut shot. It's my own fault. I didn't think of it until I had already taken an action because you do have to play this deck quickly. So it's my own fault, no excuses. But I hope you at least learned something today. Hopefully you enjoyed the new cycling trick. I think it's worth doing. Like, you'll notice that I usually gained an extra few mana every time I did it, which in the long run does help. So thanks again for watching. Keep storming. Have a great day. Cycle Storm forever. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.